you're struggling financially, I need you to understand something. You're not poor, you're getting robbed. Most people don't even realize that it's happening. 69% of Americans have less than $1,000 saved. 48% of people making six figures are living paycheck to paycheck. The system is designed to keep you broke. From your mortgage that makes you buy two houses, one for you and one for the bank, to credit cards that celebrate your smart spending while charging you 30% interest. Today, I'm exposing the money traps that are stealing your wealth and how to escape them. This $500,000 house is costing you $1 million over 30 years. This is because of the amortization schedule of the mortgage. So basically, with a very simple example, if you have a $1,000 a month mortgage payment, you can be very easily paying $800 a month in interest. And I'm saying that slowly for a reason, because I want that to land. Your $1,000 mortgage payment is $800 in interest. And it's gonna stay that way until year 15 typically in the mortgage schedule. So basically, the mortgage company knows that most people buy a different house every 5 to 7 years. And so guess what happens? The clock starts over with your brand new mortgage and they're front loading all the interest. So again, you'll be paying less and less interest per mortgage payment, but it's not typically until year 15 or so that the scales tip and now 51% of your mortgage payment actually goes to principal. Now, you can look up the truth in lending statement, and whenever you get a new mortgage, that's required to be shown to you that shows you maybe the APR is, in this market, maybe 7%, 6%, whatever. But the reality is you might be paying like 50% as an actual interest rate given this 30-year trajectory, buying one house for you and one for the bank. And what makes it worse is every time you make extra principal payments, it doesn't lower your monthly payment. All it does is shave time off the back end of the loan. So you have to get to the point where you pay off the full balance before you see any reduction in your minimum payments. By the way, if you never want to worry about your mortgage and other payments, I highly recommend you check out my automation blueprint that helps you build wealth without worrying about any of these payment schedules. I'll put the link in the description below. Our society absolutely celebrates horrible financial decisions. Just look at any social media feed. The people that get a brand new car, they get all the likes, all the celebrations by, plunging into debt, by driving a vehicle off the lot and having it plunge into value the second that they pull it off the curb. Share that you maxed out your 401k and,
oh my God, who the hell cares?
When you make smart money decisions, they're basically invisible. No one is any wiser. In other countries, as an example, in certain countries in Africa, having bricks can be a sign of wealth. And so what happens is people will make bricks and stack them up to remodel their house. And that's how you know your neighbor's like doing really well. Or in other areas, goats can be a sign of wealth. And so if you pass your neighbor's house and see that they've got a lot of goats, that's a true sign of wealth. And so those signals shape the behavior of their immediate society and culture. Conversely, in the US, again, you get a brand new car and everybody thinks you're doing great when you're probably struggling just to make the payments. Add in a layer that we're all getting pounded with like 5,000 ads a day. We're all plugged into all these different screens from a TV to your iPhone or whatever else, your computer, and we're just getting hammered with ads all day. We're getting programmed deeper and deeper into this consumerist society trap. There's a study that I mentioned before where it was determined that there's diminishing returns once you reach $75,000 in income. And now, index for inflation, maybe that's 120 to 150. Again, I'm not saying, hey, don't make more money than that, obviously. But the reality is their happiness kind of declines after that. Which, gosh, I could fill a whole video about talking about happiness and how to optimize for that when it comes to money. So let me know in the comments if you'd like me to make that. Next, everyone's favorite, taxes. Not only does your income get taxed, we've got sales tax and property tax and death tax just to scratch the surface. And if you see the chart on the screen, we see that your wages are one of the most expensive ways to survive financially. Investments get taxed significantly less than your actual W-2 earned income. There's a great article we'll link by the blog Go Curry Cracker from several years ago, where they make a very compelling case that we should be optimizing for leisure instead of labor. And so just to paint the picture of this, I love the idea of shuttling as much of your income, your W-2 income, into investments so that you just, get taxed less, let alone these investments are going to appreciate over time, unlike the dollar. Which leads me to inflation. I feel like we are numb to this idea. Sure, a few years ago and now we hear about inflation, but the reality is it started since the creation of the Federal Reserve in 1913, and the dollar has lost at least 97% of its value since then. And it's like people are asleep to this fact. We know that on average, on conservative estimates, your money is losing at least 3% every single year on average. So if it feels like it's difficult to keep up, it is. And to top it off, you've got the bank charging you $35 if you overdraft, and credit cards again are willing to lend you money all day, every day at 30% interest, giving you a payment plan just low enough to continue to lure you in, knowing that every time you swipe the credit card that you're gonna pay up to 18% more per transaction. By the way, credit cards make the majority of their revenue, depending on where you look, upwards of 56% of their revenue on people having a balance on their credit card. Sure, yes, they also make plenty of money on the credit card fees every time we swipe there too. But the reality is they are incentivized for you to be in financial bondage. Now, how to escape? We can sit here and boohoo about what an unjust world we live in, or we can take action to stack the deck in our own favor, which is what I would advocate for you watching and all of my clients. This is why the core principle I teach is automation, because automation removes the emotional equation, the decision making from most of your financial decisions. Once we set up the right systems, you have money to spend every week without feeling guilty, knowing that money is invested, money is going to build an emergency fund so that you're not, relegated to swiping the credit card for every time a financial disaster takes place. And there are ways that we can cut out the debt instead of doing the debt snowball for the next 5 years of your life. We can cut the credit card interest in half or better, shaving years of debt servitude off, while freeing up hundreds, if not $1,000 plus a month of additional cash flow to continue to stack the deck in your favor, helping you build real wealth. So you can either keep getting robbed every single day, or you can learn how smart people escape these traps. Stop being a victim to the system. It's your responsibility to take control. No one is coming to save you. If you want me to show you how, click the link in the description and book a call with me directly. Otherwise, check out my previous video on how to change your financial life in 3 months, where I break down the exact plan to restore your financial health fast. Thanks for watching.